What's up, guys? So another quick episode of the Muay Diaz Combat Pubcast. I'm going to go shift over to the boxing side. So other than the breaking news that happened with Eddie Hearn and Tom Aspinall, today is Thursday, and we all know what that is. It is Clapback Thursday from the Golden Boy himself, Oscar De La Hoya, and he states that today, or was it yesterday, the judge did vote in favor of Golden Boy against Virgil Ortiz in the case where Virgil Ortiz was trying to leave Golden Boy. And he came with receipts, man. Some people don't like the Clapback Thursdays. I love the Clapback Thursdays because you can say what you want about Oscar De La Hoya. Man, when he comes with this Clapback Thursdays, he comes with receipts and he's not holding back. He went on to say that Rick Merizian, who is the manager of Virgil Ortiz Jr., said that he was demanding 3 times the amount of money versus the Boots Ennis fight that was originally made. Oscar did say that the reason that the talks were being held up is because he was trying to get more money for his fighter in Virgil Ortiz. I think that this fight could have been made, seeing how both guys were interim champions. Virgil was the interim WBC champion. Boots was the interim WBO champion, I believe. It's the biggest fight at 154 pounds that can be made, even though both guys are not full-fledged champions. But that's the way boxing is. It's so crazy how 2 guys are the best fighters in the division and don't hold full-fledged titles, you know. But he went on to say that Rick Merizian is steering him wrong, that he got in his head, that now if they move forward, they're going to go into arbitration. They're going to try to appeal the decision of the judge. But he made a good point, and he actually mentioned Mikey Garcia, because this is exactly the same thing that happened to Mikey Garcia, who, of course, is the younger brother of Robert Garcia, the world-famous trainer and a former world champion in his own right. Roberto Garcia, shout out Robert Garcia, Oxnard. They were in Oxnard. Now they're in Riverside, or I can't remember where they're from, but they're Michoacanos, just like my family is. Shout out RGBA and Mikey Garcia, the champ. I believe Mikey was a 3-division world champion. But before he went on his run to start collecting titles, he was signed with Top Rank. And he tried to get out of his contract with Top Rank. He didn't believe that they were giving him the right fights, or he wasn't getting paid the right amount of money. And he went to arbitration for a few years, guys. I mean, this was like still in the prime, as he was entering the prime of his career. You know, fortunately for him, when he finished the arbitration and the fight against Top Rank, he was able to go on a big run and win multiple world titles and have huge fights, and then, you know, fight Errol Spence and have other big wins. Or he lost to Errol Spence, but he had multiple big wins on his rise, you know. So he made out well, and he's a very good businessman. He's doing very well in real estate, from what he says and what I've seen with Ellie Setback, since Ellie Setback is the insider at RGBA. But he did mention that, and that's something that people should pay attention to, because Virgil is entering the prime of his career, and he could be a huge superstar. He's Mexican-American, so he can get fans from both sides of the border, and other fans, you know. People who love boxing love to watch Virgil fight, because he is one of those guys that goes in there and he tries to finish fights. You know, I think he's 24-0 with 22 knockouts. He has one of the highest, if not the highest, finishing ratio in boxing right now. So, but he came with receipts, man. Oscar, he put a clip of Virgil praising Oscar, saying that he's probably one of the best boxing promoters in boxing, that he never has a bad thing to say about him, that Oscar always checks in on him, always texts him, always FaceTimes him. You know, after he had to pull out of the fight when he had the rhabdo, that, you know, he took care of him. He lent him $200,000. He still paid him $200,000. So he was taking care of him, you know. And he said, you know, it's unfortunate that, you know, your father, who was a hothead, and then he put a video of his dad fighting a heckler, somebody who was heckling his son, which I can understand that. You know, nobody wants to hear someone bad-mouthing their son, right? Their family. You know, I don't know if I'd go about it the same way, but I mean, I could see how it could happen. And it was a video of Virgil Ortiz Sr. On the ground, rolling around with some guy with his shirt off. And, you know, this was right before it was probably either the day before or the day of Virgil Ortiz Jr.'s fight against Erickson Lubin that was at the Dickies Arena in Fort Worth, Texas, you know, which I went to. If you guys saw my shorts, I did a short when I was leaving the event. Was not the greatest event. I can't lie. I'm going to be very forward and honest. I've been to better cards, and that card was not good at all. The only thing that saved it was Virgil Ortiz knocking out Erickson Lubin in the second round. But other than that, the fights were not good. It was not sold out. There were very many open seats. You know, the last big fight I remember coming to in the area was at the Star in Dallas, or in Frisco, if you guys are familiar with the DFW area. Frisco is a suburb north of Dallas. And I went to the Mikey Garcia. Oh man, who did he fight? I can't remember his name. It was before he got the big fight against Spence. But the Star was sold out. It was jam-packed. That was a great crowd. And that was nothing like how the last Virgil fight was. And I'm not going to bag on Virgil. Virgil is a good dude. I mean, he's from Grand Prairie. I'm from Arlington. We're basically neighbors. The two cities are connected. We butt up against each other. I've met Virgil before. He's a good dude. Actually, one of my guys that I was training at the time, big heavyweight, actually met him on another time and got an autograph. So I have a signed Virgil Ortiz to my gym, to Imperio from Virgil Ortiz Jr. I love Virgil. I'm a big fan of his, but I think this is going to get ugly. I wish they could, you know, hash it out or figure it out somehow. But Virgil Ortiz Jr. also on his own X put out a post that said, although the judge didn't see it on our way, the fight is blocked for now. My team and I will be moving on to arbitration and to the court appeal. My time with Golden Boy is done. I am confident that my right to move on to other opportunities will be upheld. As always, I'm in the gym, staying ready. Any 154-pound champion should do the same. It's only a matter of time. So, conflicting arguments from both sides. I really hope this gets settled in a timely manner, man. I would never want to see a fighter with the potential of Virgil Ortiz Jr. being sidelined for something that happened as far as contract disputes. But I understand, because I've said it multiple times, guys. The business, the boxing itself is beautiful to watch. But the business of boxing is as dirty of a game as probably even the dope game, man. I mean, it is as dirty as that can get. And especially now that it's in court and now attorneys are involved, I just don't want to see Virgil Ortiz Jr. getting just, you know, timed out like Mikey Garcia had to in the past. And I'm sure Mikey Garcia is in his ear and is giving him good advice. And if he thinks he's right, then okay, all power to him. Go on and go through that arbitration process. But you don't want to waste some of the best years of your life and your career by going in and out of courtrooms and draining those bank accounts, man. I really want to see Virgil Ortiz get those big fights and be a menace at 154 pounds. You know, go after the Sebastian Findoras. Go after the other champions. You know, make your mark in this sport while you have the time and the opportunity to do so. And I just hate that it's ending up like it's gonna look like he's gonna be spending more than a lot of time that he would want to be spending in and outside of a courtroom. So that's my little breakdown for Clapback Thursday. Shout out to Oscar De La Hoya. Shout out to Virgil Ortiz Jr. I hope everything gets settled and gets settled in a timely fashion, because I want to see Virgil Ortiz go on to conquer 154-pound division and be the full-fledged world champion, possibly undisputed champion. Shout out to Grand Prairie and Virgil Ortiz. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell so you get notifications. And never forget, watch fights, drink pints. See you guys on the next one. Peace!